Hi everyone, Noel here, Essendon Mowers and Motorcycles. So I've got another guest with me today from Greenworks. It's the Greenworks Gary.
Hi everyone.
About him. Everyone's seen him on some videos and on some other clips, so I'm doing one myself with the guy.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming along.
That's all right.
Obviously, I know as much as I can know in the time I have to learn the product as best as I can. But Gary's all over it, so I thought he can give us a bit of a walkthrough on some of the product and how it works, what it is and all the rest of it, and what's coming, what some of the new generations are, and go from there. So I think we'll just start with the 60 volt.
Yeah, obviously down in the showroom here with the guys at Essendon, we've got everything here from 24 volt, 40 volt, 60 and 82. It's your one-stop Greenworks shop out here. So with our 60 volt range, we've got nearly 50 plus tools in the 60 volt range. We've got everything from push mowers, whippersnippers, blowers, chainsaws, pressure washers, garden carts, all the way up to our wheeled range, which is, we've got our 30-inch ride-on mower, our 42-inch zero turn, our 42-inch ride-on mower, and our 54-inch Maximus. So, you know, the 60 volt range has got every product in the range that anyone at home, whether you're on a small block all the way through to acreage, can do with the power and performance of petrol.
Yep. I mean, I absolutely love the Greenworks product. I love the backup and support that the team at Greenworks give us. It's amazing. And I tend to try and stock everything. You
definitely do, mate. If someone wants Greenworks here, that's where they got to come.
They got to come and see it, feel it.
Exactly that, you know. We do pride ourselves on our backup and support through our network. And, you know, we've got one of the best residential warranties in battery OPE. So, you know, 4 years on that tool, 4 years on the battery and 2 years on the charger. As we can see, you know, about to trip over, there's another cool range that we have.
Yeah, the lifestyle range.
Outside of the mowers, you know, we've got our lifestyle range. So we got the mini bike, the go-kart and the 2 e-bikes. They're just something that you can pull the battery out of this, pop it in your mower and go do the chores and then come back and have a bit of fun as well. So really extensive range. You know, Greenworks is a leader worldwide in battery OPE and in battery technology in general. They're one of the best in our industry. So.
And one thing I've noticed is, I don't know, every couple of months I seem to look and go, what? There's something new.
Something new, where am I going to fit that?
Exactly.
Well, some of the newer products we did just add recently is the 60 volt blower vac.
Yep.
So this one here.
Sold a couple of them to my neighbours already, actually.
They're happy? Oh, good, mate. Well, if they're neighbours, they've got to be happy with it. So obviously it's a blower, but it easily converts to a vacuum, and it has a real cool feature. It has a metal blade on the impeller. Yeah. So it'll shred the leaves and mulch it up as it puts it into the bag. So very handy unit. There's not many other competitors in this space, but I think there's only 2 or 3 other battery models, but we also have the little wheel there, so it's nice and easy. You can just suck up all the leaves and the sticks and away you go. So that's one of the really good new
pressure
tools.
washer was new, the battery pressure washer?
The pressure washer and the backpack sprayer are the other 2 new additions we've had recently. So let me put that back on your beautiful display. So the pressure washer, 3,000 PSI, 7 litres per minute. So it's a very respectable performance out of this pressure washer.
Well, most of your little 240 volt ones are only in the 1700.
Exactly, and like 4 or 5 litres a minute. If you want something with pressure is definitely one thing, but the flow rate of that water supply is huge. Yep. It's got a 7.5 metre anti-kink textile hose as well. And it comes with all the attachments. So you've got your rotary turbo nozzle, your soaping nozzle, and your 3 other nozzles as well. What I like about this unit, purely portable, obviously battery powered, but even if we didn't have a hose there, we can hook up. It comes with a suction hose as well. So if we had a 20 litre drum or even wanted to suck it, it's purely portable. You can just, as long as you got.
You don't even need a garden hose. You can be sucking it.
You know, obviously, other party business motorcycles. If you're out in the bush and you just finished doing your trail bikes, have a 20 litre drum.
While they're wet,
they're out there.
It comes straight off.
Comes straight off the bush. You don't have to dirty your house when you get home, and it's easier to clean. So it's a really fantastic unit. And then the backpack sprayer. So again, it's a 15 litre. 60 volts, so use your battery on your ecosystem already. Comes with 4 different spray nozzles, nice padded harness as well. So again, you know, got heaps of weeds to spray. You don't want to have to pump it or anything.
Yep.
And even with a 2 amp battery, I think this one will last for nearly 3 hours because it doesn't use much power at all.
Power.
Yeah, so yeah, we've pretty well got nearly every tool that you need to keep your yard in check, and then a bit of fun stuff on the side as well in the 60 volt range. So
yeah, so your kids can have a bit of fun.
Kids can have a bit of fun.
With as many batteries as you want to supply.
Oh, mate, that's the battery is it. You keep the kids going with more batteries.
Yeah.
What I really like about these 2 products on the fun stuff is, you know, the kids can be out in the yard, even if you only have a smaller, so you know, you got a larger land, but it's still got neighbours nearby. They're not going to be upset by no noise.
Yeah, I know. That's the bonus.
And the kids can have a fair bit of fun and safely as well. You know, we've got these are locked out through our app, so once the customer buys it, they can log in and set the speed lock on them as well. So yeah, pretty handy thing. So we're in a Black Friday period at the moment, so it's a great time to buy one of these products.
Yeah, you got till the 1st of December.
You do,
yeah,
so
it's a massive saving. Yeah. And then they bought out, not that long ago, the graphite shaft in the in the trimmer.
The trimmer, yeah.
Trimmer.
So again, you know, and like you said, Noel, it's very hard to keep up with some of the products we do. But yeah, we do have our carbon fibre graphite shaft string trimmer. So with that unit there, it's ultra light. So it's only 3.4 kilos without a battery in it. You put a 4 amp in there, it's just over 5 kilos. So it's one of the lightest battery trimmers on the market. Still plenty of power. It's got a 1 kilowatt electric motor on it, and nice and quiet, you know.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. You're not annoying your neighbours when you're out doing your mowing or your whippersnippering or any of that sort of stuff because there's no noise.
No noise, you know, and if you want to, obviously we're in
I know my neighbours, the other ones, the other end drive me nuts when I hear the petrol mowers and things run.
Exactly. And we're heading into summer, you know, you want to get the lawns done early in the morning or late in the afternoon out of the heat of the day.
I think we're going to have a pretty good one this year. I think the grass is going to grow quick.
Oh, mate, it's
already starting.
It already has. We've had the rain that we've been waiting for, and we'll get the heat now and look out. Battery-wise, you know, it's all 60 volt, but we got 2, 4, 6, and 8 amp hour batteries in the 60 volt range.
And then the big one for the riders, the suitcase.
The suitcase, that's a 20 amp.
20 amp, yeah.
So one thing I get asked is why do we have different voltages, and this leads into where we're going to look at the other gear in your shop.
Yep.
You know, voltage is horsepower. That's why we have higher voltage platform in our outdoor power equipment. So 60 volt gives us that good balance for that homeowner and the heavier homeowner, you know, a bit more larger area in terms of runtime and performance out of that product to give you equivalent of what you would get out of petrol. So, and then when we lead to our more commercial, heavier duty range in that 82 volt, it just lifts that level up to that next level for that day in, day out use.
Yeah,
so.
and you can certainly feel the power.
Oh,
it's amazing. Yeah, I mean, I've said it so many times, but anyone who says, no, I'm not interested in batteries, it's just not powerful enough, they've never used a good bit of gear.
They haven't, no.
They've either not used it or someone else has had some cheaper battery gear from early days.
Yep.
And they've come along and they haven't had a good
experience
with it, and it gives it a bad name. And it's also one of the reasons we have demo gear here.
Yeah.
If people aren't sure, take it home and try it. And I've never yet, and this is swear, I've never had anyone take one home that hasn't come back and bought it.
Correct.
After it's proven itself.
Yep. No, I've done many demos myself, and same thing, you know, and many dealers around the country, you know, a lot of our dealers like yourself do have demo gear.
Yep.
Take it home, try it. It changes the opinion immediately.
Yep. And it's the noise, the fumes, the smell, the maintenance. There is none. There's no oil to worry about, fuel to worry about, filters to worry about, dusting, ingression to worry about.
Yeah, so there's so much more than just...
so much better than just the fact that, it performs as well.
Yep, exactly, mate.
Yeah. So that's a bit on the 60 volt range. Let's talk a little bit on the 82
Let's talk
for
on
the commercial
82.
guys. So
all right.
The 82 is really based on commercial type users, be it a contractor,
correct,
or a council, or any of those, or large properties,
landscaper. Even you know, we didn't just slap a commercial name badge on it, and it's the same thing reincarnated. It is a totally different bit of gear.
Yeah.
It is built for that contractor, or council or large landscaper.
Everyday user.
Everyday user, but
Everyday
even the customer that just wants more power, or they have, the homeowner that has heaps of work that they need to do, and they just want battery, they want something a bit more heavier duty to go over it. So we launched this range about 2.5 years ago, and we've just had a new addition to the handheld part of it, which is our Optimus handheld.
Yeah,
So
which it is the next step up.
it's definitely
There's
hit the
no
next
doubt.
level.
Yeah.
So again, in this particular range, we've got every tool that you could think of in a commercial business or a landscaping business that you need to do your day in, day out work. And that's where it really separates, and that's where I led in with that voltage and, batteries ain't batteries kind of thing. 82 volts, the highest voltage in outdoor power equipment. And the reason we do that is to give that commercial operator that performance they need and require to do their business day in, day out.
Yeah.
So again, we have everything from trimmers, chainsaws, blowers, backpack blowers, pressure washers in that unit, push mowers, all the way up to 72-inch, 36 kilowatt onboard battery zero turns that will mow up to 8 hours.
Side shoot and reverse
Side shoot,
discharge.
rear discharge, stand-on mowers, utility vehicles, side-by-sides, everything in that 82 volt range is all there.
Concrete saws, your trolleys for the concrete saws, all that sort of out there as well now. And it's not only the product quality, a lot of the contractors that I have sold to or that have converted across to the Greenworks product, it's just not just the product and how well it works in comparison to what they've already had in a petrol unit. It's the fact straight away, the first guy I sold to, he said, I'm not missing going to the servo every morning to fill my jerry cans up. That was number one. And then the next guy who I sold the first large zero turn to, he said, mate, as my other ones are starting to get worn out, he's got about 4 zero turns. He's loving the Greenworks, so are all of his guys. But he said the other ones aren't too far off and I'll be swapping them all over. But he said, I get my weekends back. He's a diesel mechanic, by the way, by trade, so he knows what he's doing. Serviced all his own gear and all the rest of it. He said, but every weekend I'd be at home servicing. He said, all I do with this is give it a wash, park it in the shed. The other ones I'm still servicing.
He's still servicing.
So the sooner I can get off that, the better. But he said, they've got a little bit, a life in them and he's still using them, but he thinks that he'll be converted over with all his gear in the next sort of 12 months. So, and that to me is testament to just how good the product is. It is super good and it's super powerful, and again, it's just so convenient.
It is, mate, and our warranty too is one of the best in the commercial market. For our handheld range, it's 2 years on the battery charger and the tool, and on those big zero turns and that custom, it's 5 years. On that 2,000 hours, that's just. Some people are turning over their petrol units before the warranty warranty even runs out. So.
And they pay for themselves if you said just on the fuel that you're saving. But it's not that. It's everything else.
It's everything else.
There's no belts, manuals, there's no pulleys, there's none of that gear. So it's a direct drive off your motor.
Correct.
So you haven't got any of that maintenance to do. You haven't got any of those things to continuously replace and repair and get worn out with crap getting built up around them. So
exactly, and if you look at that as the purchase price might be a bit high. It is definitely a bit high to start with, but like you said, you look at that over the fuel return is pretty much the first one. But the everything else, the less trips or no trips to the servo, the maintenance, the downtime.
Well, that's the other thing,
the spare parts and all that. It just is one of those things that adds up across the range.
We'll go for a walk across and
let's go and have a look.
Bit of a difference on this Optimus stuff.
Well, the new Optimus handheld is definitely something that we're pretty excited about. It has only just launched in the market very, very recently for this season. There's some good product in there. So what does Optimus mean? Optimus means it's Latin for the best. So the owner of Greenworks, Mr. Yin Chen, he tasked all of his project teams as we go through a life cycle, to get Optimus as a badge on the product. It has to meet certain standards and where we want to see, our life cycle of this product. We brought commercial range out in America in 2016. So this is our third generation of handheld, where a lot of our competitors are only just starting in commercial or heavier duty. We're on our third incarnation. And all we're doing is constantly evolving the product and making it better and better, and giving that commercial user or that customer the want to transition to our product.
Yep.
Not so much, you know, we're not seeing it in Australia, but in the US, definitely some states are trying to force them to go to battery. Whereas we're giving the operator a product that's no different to their petrol unit.
Yep. And they want to go.
And they want to go this way.
Yeah.
So, and again, touching on what you just said before, if I'm an operator, why do I want to stand there all day, 10 times a day, pull starting my trimmer? Just pop my battery in, use it. I'm getting the same balance, the same feel, the same performance, the same build quality of my petrol unit, and nearly the same runtime out as a tank of fuel. And then by the time that's run out with our new core batteries, the other one's already charged, ready to rock and roll. Just keep swapping them over throughout the day.
Yeah. Well, there's a good point now. The new core battery.
Exactly, mate. We'll get. There's so much. We'll get to that. But
I know.
Our Optimus handheld range is exactly what I was saying. So we really have done a lot of extra work on this. This, besides from where the battery goes on, is no different to your petrol commercial 36cc string trimmer. So it's got a solid steel drive shaft. It's got a greasable gearbox. It's 3 speeds. We've got an external cooling board for our motor.
Does this have a reverse spin?
It does have reverse as well, mate.
Yep.
Yeah. So if we got this jammed up in a dog wire fence or something like that, we hold the button for 2 seconds. It reverses the motor and it'll free it up so it can unhook from the jam.
Can't do that with petrol.
Well, you can't definitely do that with a petrol. You're stuck.
Yeah.
And with this unit as well, it's all IPX5. So the other question we always get, battery, you know, can I leave it on the back of my ute? Can it be on my trailer? All our Optimus stuff is IPX5 rated. So, you know, they can be out in a storm shower.
Yep.
It won't affect it. Everything that's all electronics, all fully sealed.
I did notice just then that the Optimus in the shorter but extendable hedge trimmers now a articulated head.
Articulated head, yeah.
Yep.
And that was a lot of market feedback. One thing about Greenworks is that they definitely consider Australia a very valuable market, and all the feedback we get from our end users and our dealers such as yourselves does go back to the team in the US and China. When we launched commercial with our Gen 2 stuff in 2023, the short one is it was fixed.
Yeah.
And the number one feedback was we need that articulated.
Yeah.
We want that articulated. So when this Optimus range was already in the pipeline, probably 12 months, 18 months after that, that's definitely some of our feedback was pivotal in getting that one in the range as well.
And the chainsaws, I know the previous one was up to equivalent to about 65
65 cc.
And now they're 80?
80 cc. So we have 3 new saws in our range. So our previous generation was a 2.7 kilowatt and a 3.4 kilowatt. Now we have a 3 kilowatt, a 3.6 kilowatt, and a 5 kilowatt chainsaw, which is this one here, which is my favorite. I'm a chainsaw man at heart. So that's what we call our hog saw, which is a high output gasless. Obviously we're not in America, so we don't call it gas, we call it petrol, but hop saw just doesn't have the same kind of ring to it. But that is the most powerful battery chainsaw in the world. So 80 cc equivalent, 5 kilowatts of power, 30 meters of chain speed per second. It can cut. It's an absolute beast. And we can fit up to a 24-inch bar and chain on that unit.
And again, you're not annoying anyone with the noise.
All you hear is the chain going around.
Yeah, and that's another thing that a lot of the contractors are doing. They can start earlier because they're not running petrol. They're not making noise early in the morning to annoy neighbours and the local community if they're on a commercial or a school site or something like that.
Exactly, but you know, we have a whole heap of new Optimus stuff, and this has only been in the market in Australia for about 6 weeks, but it's been in the US. They just finished their first full season with Optimus and switched a lot of commercial operators from competing brands to Greenworks. It's fast gained a reputation, and it's already building in Australia from our previous generation, but Optimus stuff is definitely the choice for battery.
Yep.
We don't just do the OPE stuff, as you mentioned. We do have a construction lineup, which you have the full fleet of here. So we do a 12-inch concrete saw, a 14-inch concrete saw, and we do the trolley. So again, touches back just purely that noise-sensitive area, or a site where they're in a hospital or something, got to do a cut. You can't have fuel, you can't have the exhaust blaring.
Yep.
We can have this with a nice 14-inch concrete blade on there. Put it on the trolley, it's purely portable.
The 2 main things that we always have is an issue that destroys concrete saws is dust.
Dust, ingress, and straight
and
fuel.
the fuel. Yep, every single time.
And both of those don't affect this. We do have a filter on this unit, which is just activate, you know, we can unscrew there. That
Yep.
can be cleaned out because that's where we get the motor cooling from, but that's still not going to ruin
It's
the
not sucking it
It's
into
not going to
an
suck it
engine
into an
and
engine and
yeah.
do a piston or a barrel or something like that. So there's something that's a really good addition as an extra to our range, but also for those builders or plumbers or sparkies or anyone, you know, and
Yep.
they noise
through
sensor.
some walls or a bit of concrete. Yep.
You know, a mate of mine, he installs X-ray machines in hospitals all around the country.
Okay.
So he bought one from one of our dealers.
Yep.
And he uses it all the time.
Yeah.
So let's talk core batteries. This is something that you know, we've just launched in line with the Optimus range of.
Now I'm going to get a bit of a re-education
You
here
will,
because
mate,
I
will.
have been told it, but
That's okay.
The old memory's not as good as it was.
So the beauty about Greenworks is within our range, the actual casing never changes.
Yes.
So I always joke and say we could have a nuclear reactor in here. We won't in Australia, but we could have a nuclear reactor in here one day.
We might one day.
Maybe, but the actual slot we're never going to change, so it will always work. So the number one thing with batteries, whether it's our commercial range or any battery brand, is everyone wants a battery that will last longer, is lighter, and charges faster.
Yep.
Unfortunately, there are limitations with certain types of way we do a battery configuration. So our Gen 2 batteries, which these are with our little digital readout there, fantastic product. Plenty of power, lasts a long time. You get about 40 minutes to an hour in the trimmer, depending on what you use.
Yep.
But it's a conventional, like most of our competitors use. It uses a parallel of batteries. Sorry, I'll start again. A series of batteries. Look like a AA cell, but a series of cells all joined together to create an 82 volt pack.
Yep.
With that there, that's about 2.3, 2.4 kilos.
Yeah.
To recharge, that's about 35, 40 minutes. How do we make more power, lighter and faster? We change the way we deliver a lithium battery. So this is part of our new core batteries. So this is what we call a pouch lithium technology. So if you think about it, you think straight away, oh, there's a blob of lithium. There's a pouch of lithium in there.
Yeah.
What we actually do is we use cards or slots of lithium. So what we do first and foremost is reduce the weight of this battery. So that's only 1.7 kilos.
Right.
So we're 600 grams lighter than that battery straight away, which is a lot when we put it in a tool and we're using it all day, every day.
When the tool's 4 kilos going to 5 kilos or whatever, it makes a difference. Yeah.
But we also get more power output because of the way the core battery and the lithium card pack is designed. So we get more, even though it's still a 4 amp hour, we get more output power. We get a lot more rapid recharge. This in that new Optimus charger there, that will charge this from 0 to 80% in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Whereas that's 40, so it's half the time.
Yeah.
And then this will also last 25% longer.
Yeah, right.
So we're getting lighter, charging faster,
and lasting
longer, which is what everyone wants. And more power. Even though it's 82 volt 4 amp, the actual kilowatt power output of this battery is 30% more than the previous generation.
Well, there you go. I have been told that all, but I can't.
It's a lot to remember. There's a lot.
It's hard enough to keep up with the product.
It's hard enough to keep up with the product, but you know, and does this battery work in the previous generation stuff? 100% it does. And does this work in the Optimus? 100% it does. But will this give us better performance in both product?
Yes.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Price-wise though, it's $100 difference between them. So it's not one talking this is double the price.
Yeah.
It's just a bit better technology and what we're moving towards as we progress through our product life lineup. That's probably the other thing that really sets us apart. We talk about charging and all that. Greenworks is the market leader with options for the contractor.
Yep.
You know, we got our 6-port charge caddy.
Yep.
It looks like a fridge, looks like an esky.
And it charges them all at once.
Charges them all at once, It doesn't do them sequentially, it does it all at once. Whereas most other brands, it's 1, 1, 1, 1. This will do all 6. So that will do all 6 core batteries in about maybe 120 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
Less than that actually.
Yeah.
And it's all air cooled, so that's a very easy way. The other option we have is that we have a new charging solution for that caddy to be mounted to one of the 0 turns, so you can use the battery on board.
Yeah.
while you're out in the field. So that's something where Greenworks is trying to solve a problem. The customer, how do they, you know, I can't have a big power bank on my vehicle, or how do I make it easier for me throughout my workday?
Yeah.
And I think we're definitely leading the charge.
Yeah. And they're going from one item to another and doing some trimming and then doing some mowing and what have you.
What I was saying before, the core battery, by the time we've used, say I'm a contractor.
Yep.
And I've got an inverter on my car. By the time I've run out of power on that, so this Core 300 should last about an hour in that unit,
okay,
give or take. More if it's light trimming, less it's about 45 minutes if it's like knee-high grass. By the time I've finished that, that's already recharged. The other one's already recharged from my inverter on my vehicle, or if I'm using the power at the customer's house or whatever. I've got. So instead of going and filling it up, I'm just pulling that off and putting it in the tool and away I go. It's no different. Well, it is, because it's a different processing. Time I go and get my two-stroke tin and fill it up, I'm just pulling off,
and putting it in. Myself
yeah, you know what I mean? It's just changing that thought process, but that's where this Optimus and this Core range really does change the market for that.
And it is an outlay up front, but it's not, you know, the savings are the bit, you know, it's not just mixing the fuel and having the fuel. You've still got to maintain a two-stroke engine. You've still got to make sure you got your mix right. You've still got to change spark plugs when they do foul, all that sort of thing. It's the convenience. And,
it is.
And you're still going to filling up your fuel tanks and all the rest of the stuff, your jerry cans and all that sort of thing to do it.
And like you said, it is an investment. The number one question we see, whether it's through our social media or we get asked at shows or with, you know, we're in a shop with dealers like yourself, and okay, well, how long will this battery last me for?
Yep.
I don't mean how long will it last until. So this new Core battery, it's 1,500 cycles. So 1,500 full charges before it even loses any performance. So that's quite a lot of using. If you use that, if you only charge that once a day, that's 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
This one here is about 700 cycles.
Yep.
So we're getting longer lifespan. Yes, it is an investment. That battery there is $439.
Yep.
But divide that over 5 years, and when you work out your sums and the cost of total outlay, you are well in front.
And I even discuss it with people, and there is some spreadsheets and what have you, but finance it. Go and get yourself a finance package and get all the gear you need, the batteries, the chargers, the whole lot. Make your monthly payment. Life's a dream.
Yep. That's it.
You're going to be better off than going and fueling up every week and paying your fuel bill and doing this and paying for all your service along the way and your repairs and your maintenance and all the rest of the stuff.
Definitely.
You know your monthly outgoings.
Yep. You know,
it's not going to change.
It's not going to change. It's always going to be. It's always going to be there. So no,
you might have more work on. You charge your battery more often. You're not going to buy more fuel. You're just charging it more often.
No, but I mean, part of, like, you know, you've got the demo gear here. You know, you've got your finance as well for a contractor. Yeah, the full range, and that's, you know, really what this commercial range is just to give people an option, and probably a better option, in my opinion, to be fair.
I tend to agree. And then we've got blowers down the end there.
Blowers, yep.
Yeah, they got the whole lot. Well, that was the last generation where it wasn't articulating.
Yeah, we were in the last generation right there. So this is our Gen 2 stuff, still current.
Yep.
You know, going through into that Optimus range, we do step up quality. We do move into a bit different price point as well.
Yep.
But this Gen 2 stuff really hit the mark in Australia and definitely in the US as well. There's still some great tools in there. We've got some ripping redemption offers on that at the moment as well for some of these gear. So again,
come and talk to us. That's the main thing, because there's always deals to be done, especially if it is a product that's, I'm saying phasing out, but it's not really. But it's
we're just in that. We're in a generational changeover, you know. And this is again a question I've been asked quite. You know, was there something wrong with this? There's absolutely nothing wrong with this product. It's got plenty of power. It's priced well. It's just that it's coming to its end of its life cycle in our business. So ripping product
support's still there.
The parts
are still going to be there. The backup and everything's still there. It's
part of our business is our after sales is probably just as important or more important from us from a company standpoint with all of our business, and then actually the bringing a new product to market. We've probably got enough spare parts here that my boss Adam will probably still have in his factory for 20 years, because that's how important we see this product.
He's only about 12 and he'll be retired and he'll still do it.
But yeah, blowers, mate, backpack blowers, handheld blowers. It's got more power than any commercial petrol handheld 2-stroke blower on the market.
Yeah.
It's got more power than you need. And you ask, what have we got coming? I'm always over what we've got now, and we're always adding to this. 2026, we'll see Greenworks Commercial have the most powerful handheld battery blowers on the market.
Yep.
And we'll have those before the next season. So.
Yep.
Backpack blowers, we've already got the most powerful backpack battery blower on the market. So it's a commitment to the brand and a commitment to the customer and to our network to keep bringing, within reason, but the best product to market that we can for the end user. So.
Yeah. And again, the large 0 turns and the stand-on units,
The only way to really
7 to
appreciate
9
these
hours.
is to reach out to our dealers and arrange a demo one. Like you were saying, Noel, 7 to 8 hours.
I've used it. The power that they produce for cutting lawn is mind-blowing.
They're a fantastic bit of gear. Even schools, even the homeowners, there's probably 15 or 20 private owners around Australia that have bought
larger
them.
properties.
Yeah,
that want
larger
to do
properties
them.
that just looked at they don't want to fuel a product, they don't want to really give it much service. These are minimal servicing. So definitely, we could spend a whole video hours on going over this unit, but really
you spend hours trying to educate me, and I know it's a tough job, but someone's got to do it.
Somebody's got to do it, mate. But it's built like a tank. That's what I like about this. Some people don't believe it's a battery unit until you turn it on. You say to them.
Most people that come in, they'll say, "Well, all this area, everything you see green here is battery," and they go, "It's all battery."
Yeah.
Yeah. They just don't believe that most of it, they look at it and they think it's half battery, half. No, Greenworks only do battery. That's their forte. So that's all they do, and that's why they're so good at it.
Exactly, and this unit here in particular, it's a 24 kilowatt. The battery's on board. We've got 2 kilowatt deck motors. It's got a hub motor transmission set up on it. You can mow 7 to 8 hours, no dramas, out of this product before it needs a recharge. So,
and they're not slow.
They are definitely not. The transport speed, the top speed for transport is 25.7 k's an hour. So it's one of the fastest 0 turns on the market.
Yeah.
And it does a job, built like a tank. It's got 7-gauge fabricated steel deck.
Yeah, I've taken and demoed them, so I know what they're.
Yeah, you know what they're all about,
mate. It really
mate.
does. It was far more impressive than I would have imagined, because, like we all are, initially you hear battery and you're just not 100% sure how good it is. But that was a few years ago now. I'm absolutely convinced these days.
And that's it. Like you said, your customers coming in and don't believe half of this stuff is battery. There's really. I've been in the industry a long time myself. Obviously, I'm Greenworks these days, but there's not much out there that would make me go back to a petrol product at all, really. We got it covered pretty well across the whole range. So.
All right. Well, Gary, I really appreciate you coming along and giving us a bit of
I love being in your showroom here, Noel. It's a green pleasure zone.
Yeah, I know. No, it is. We certainly do love the product.
You do.
This is... only part of our showroom. We've got a couple of other as you walk through this place, but Greenworks definitely takes centre stage with us, because I honestly do believe in the product, but more or as much the backup, sales, service, everything about the company and the product is second to none, and they've got the biggest lineup of anything, and it just keeps coming.
It does.
Hence why my brain's a bit overloaded, but it doesn't take much to overload it.
You and me both, mate.
So, I really appreciate Gary, Greenworks Gary, coming along to the showroom today and giving us a little bit of a talk through on the 60-volt range and the 82-volt and the Optimus, the new Optimus gear. And, come down and check it all out for yourself. S&M Mowers and Motorcycles, 561 Keilor Road, Niddrie, or give us a call, 9351 0055, or check out the website, emam.com.au. Thanks again, Gary.
Again, Noel.
Really appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone. See you soon.